Hi, I'm Myra Kornfeld. I'm a cookbook author and cooking instructor, and I have lots of tips and recipes to make your cooking life a whole lot easier. Today, I'm going to make a real nutrient-dense broth. Now, there's a South American proverb that says, "Good broth will resurrect the dead." Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but the truth is that stocks that are made from bones, bone broths, have amazing healing properties. And what's more, they make your food taste wonderful. The difference is in the gelatin. That's what sets bone broths aside from just an okay broth. First, a word about Dr. Weston Price. So Weston Price was a dentist who practiced in the 1920s and 30s, and he had a 10-year travel period where he went around the world to examine healthy cultures who had not let in any refined Western foods into their diets. By healthy, they were not only free of disease, but they were completely free of dental decay, free of crooked teeth, and he set out to understand how they achieved this vibrant health. So he went to remote areas of the planet. He actually examined over a dozen cultures where, even though the diets were diverse, each one was rich in fat-soluble vitamins and minerals as well. So he wrote a tome based on his travels called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. So wherever he went, there was some sort of soup or stew based on fish, chicken, or meat broth. Now today we're focusing on chicken broth. There are lots of ways you can make a good chicken broth and to get all that gelatin, and I'm going to show you one of my favorites, but we'll talk about different ones. So I'm starting here. I've got a carcass, okay, and I have here the one very important element, and this is the feet. There is so much gelatin in the feet. It's really in the joints where the gelatin is stored. So I have here feet. I'm adding 3, but 2 to any stock is what's good. I'm also adding some necks. These are great. And I have here the carcass of a cooked chicken, so that's fine as well. You want to have about 4 to 5 pounds of bones. Cover them with water. I want to have enough water to cover the bones. In this case, I have 6 quarts, and I'm adding a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. That acidity is what is going to draw the minerals out of the bones. I've let the stock sit for a half hour, and I've let the acid do its work. And now I'm going to bring this to a boil. Okay. I've added a bay leaf to the stock, and now you can add carrots, onions, and celery, maybe an onion, 2 carrots, 2 stalks celery, that's fine, but I keep it simple because it makes putting the stock up so fast. As soon as it comes to a boil, you need to skim the scum. That is a really important part of stock making. It just takes a couple of minutes. The scum rises to the surface. You take a slotted spoon or a skimmer, and you just scrape this off. You bring it to a boil. Then we're going to turn the stock down and simmer it at very low heat. There's barely any bubbles breaking, but you see some movement under the surface. Now you leave it like this, like I said, from 6 hours to 24 hours. But if you need to go out in between, you can turn it off, let it sit for a few hours, turn it back on. Just when you turn it back on again, skim the scum when you bring it up to a boil, then lower it again. Now I let this stock go for about 12 to 18 hours. That's my favorite. I let it go overnight. I put a lid on it. It's perfectly safe. And then in the morning, I just strain it through a sieve into a bowl. And then I transfer the stock to these 1-quart containers. After the stock was chilled, I scraped off the layer of fat that was on the top. Look at how wobbly this is. Gelatin has this unusual property of attracting liquids. It's called hydrophilic, even after it's been heating. So it's really a good aid to digestion. It allows the body to more fully utilize proteins that are taken in. It's useful in the treatment of so many chronic disorders, including anemia and diabetes and hyperacidity and colitis and Crohn's disease. So the test to whether you have gelatin in your broth is after you chill it. If it turns kind of wobbly and firm when refrigerated, then it's been properly prepared. And last but not least, you can keep this in the freezer for months, and you could keep it in the refrigerator for up to 5 days and even longer if you reboil it in between. I always keep a whole bunch of quarts of stock around, and then I have them whenever I want to make a delicious dish.